Hi there! If you were subscribed to me 2 years ago, you may remember that I did not on purpose 3 February, so that's what I left things off, and you may have wondered if I was dead, and I was not. Not that I didn't try, but this video has been a problematic one because of the voiceover. I wasn't comfortable speaking, and I wasn't comfortable speaking English, and I just struggled a lot. So I have written a big voiceover that I struggled a lot to register because it was too big and it was longer than the 20 minutes, and I kept saying stuff that I didn't want to and misspell stuff, and it was a big mistake. So now I'm just winging it and we'll see what it goes. So as you can see, I decided to go for Pocahontas. It is my favorite Disney movie and I love it really, really much. So it really was a good idea to make a bullet journal month about it. I really like the aesthetic of it. I like the story, of course. It's not my favorite for nothing, but I really like the aesthetic of it. I like the blue and purple and pink theme that is a lot more gendered than we think. And I like the duality of it. I love the compass, so that's what I used for the first place. And I spent a lot of time on this one. I spent a lot of time painting mostly. There was a lot of color and I didn't want to make it not colored. And it was somehow a mistake because the pages were so crusty from all of the paint, the watercolor paint, that it wasn't comfortable to just flip them. There was powder on it. But apart from that, it's really, really pretty. I really love it. So the quote for the main page is the most popular one, is sometimes the right path is not the easiest one. The classic. By the way, I am aware that the quality of the video is a little shit, but I was still using iMovie, and at that point iMovie is a big piece of shit, and I was struggling a lot, and now I'm using a all better, easier app. By the way, if you don't like my voice and just would like to enjoy the video without it, I strongly recommend it. I'm using my headphones and music because I hate my voice, so I strongly recommend to just get the sound off and put on some music on your own so you like it. As for the compass, I do plan one day to actually make it myself. I have bought a compass so I can use the magnet in it, and it's gonna be a lot of work and I'm not ready for it. Not exactly, not in my mind at least, so it's still in the work in progress pile and I haven't done it yet. Next I use this image for my new next page. It was a weekly blog page, but it was only for 3 days because the first 3 days of March were Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And let me tell you, this one has been complicated for a lot of things, a lot of reasons. Mainly the waterfall colors were really difficult to grasp in watercolor, and also the just general shape of the person of Pocahontas there is a nightmare to do because I'm not comfortable with it at all. And just right, drawing people is not my thing. It's difficult. I'm not comfortable doing it. It's not my thing. I don't have a lot of practice, but it's a great scene and it's probably maybe my favorite scene, so yeah, I didn't want to miss it. As you can see, I'm building up the color with a lot of it, and So the quote for this page is, "Now it seems it's time to start a new life on my own." It's a quote from Pocahontas 2, actually. It's from the song, the main song, which is "Where Do I Go From Here?" Sorry, I remember it only in French. It's a lovely song, and it had inspired me for a long time during difficult parts of my life, that reminded me that somehow there is still something to know I didn't know, something that I could do. So it was up to me to decide what I was going to do with it, with my life. It was up to me to decide what path I wanted to take, and it's a good song. You should really listen to it if you didn't. As for the second movie, Pocahontas 2 is pretty shitty. But the songs are pretty great. So just listen to the songs, it's gonna make your life a little easier. Next page is the brain dump, and I love it because I kept it simple, but it still had the color theme, and the leaves are really the red string of my whole month, and I think it's pretty obvious why. So I really decided to go for soft pink and blue, soft pink and soft blue for it. It's really pretty, and I really love it. I really miss doing my notes, the center thing with the circle on around it. I should do that more often because it's really pretty. And I really love it. So this page is gonna be Willow themed. It's from the scene after Coco was killed, and I really wanted to include the broken necklace in it, and I wanted also to have the main colors and the main theme of the leaves of the Weeping Willow. Not Weeping, Crying Willow, Weeping Willow. So I tried to copy the colors of it as best as I could. It worked out pretty well in the end, and it took a lot of work though. All of the little leaves around the boxes were a pain in the ass to make, but I like it. I really like mostly the necklace. I think it was one of my best work, and I struggled a lot to make the sketches of it, the line art of it. But once it was done, I was really happy with it, and I was really happy I did it because I really love it, and it's something that I miss. The quote for this is, "My world has changed and so have I. I've learned to choose and never learned to say goodbye." And it's from Pocahontas 2, "Where do I go from here to?" And once again, it's a page that I've been a little crusty because I've painted some dense colors for the watercolors, so the coat of paint was just bigger and thicker, so it was a little crusty. That's really the only thing that I didn't like about that month, is that it was a little crusty. But apart from it, I was really happy with it, and it was a great homage to my favorite Disney movie and one of my favorite movie at all. It is still one of my favorite movie, but I'd made a mistake a year ago, last July. It was I made a fanfiction out of it. I used my OTP that was from Captive Prince, and I made a fanfiction, a Pocahontas AU. And it was a mistake because now every time I watch the damn movie, I think about my fic and my fanfic. It's a big mistake because I usually cry, and it's a running joke now with my friends. It's like, one day I will be able to watch Pocahontas without thinking of my fic, but today it's not that day, and it's been a year. And even if I watch it a lot because it's a perfect background movie for me, it's a pain in the ass because I cannot watch anything, any part of it, without thinking of the damn thing. So yeah, yeah. All of those pictures were the one I wanted to use in the book, in the bullet journal month. I couldn't use all of them. This one is one of my big regrets in the movie, in the month, because I really don't like drawing people, and I think that shows there. The leaves were fine. I like drawing leaves, but both Pocahontas and John Smith look dreadful there, and I wish I could just erase them, but I didn't have the strength to erase and remake them, so I decided to just go with it. I shouldn't be allowed to just draw people, even if they're drawing in the first place. That just doesn't work. The quote is from the first movie is "The water's always changing, always flowing, but people, I guess, can't live that way. We must all pay a price. To be safe, we lose our chance to ever knowing what's around the riverbed." I wish you could see the result, because I used for each day, I used a different color. I used some purple, some red, some orange, some pink, some green, some yellow. It's really pretty because it makes a really pretty gradient, and I like it. Next is a really damn crusty page, but it has some yellow in it, and yellow is my favorite color, so I definitely no regret in there. And also, I really like the perspective of it. I think I really nailed my drawing. I don't think I nailed the painting of it, but I nailed the drawing and I liked it. The quote is, of course, something that rings with the drawing, because it's a quote that was said during that sequence. So it's "Oh high the sycamore grows, if you cut it down you'll never know." I wanted at least one part of my book, my month, that was based on Colors of the Wind, so it was this one. Well, it's not exactly true, because the butterflies, the pink butterflies, were from the song too. It's around another week page, and it's around that time that I started using one big rectangle to put all of the things that I wanted to put in that week. I usually didn't do that, and I kept doing that because it's just working. Before, I just used all 7 boxes, and it was all. I wish I could have done the eagles, to be fair, but I don't have the skills to do that, and I just didn't have the room for it either, so it just didn't make the cut. But those eyes, I really wanted to make those eyes. Maybe another time. Next was my to-do list. I didn't have yet my to-write list next to it, so I just had put in quotes. And the quote was, they do what they must for now and trust in the plans. If I trust in mine, somehow I will find who I am. Which is, again, from Where Do I Go From Here? I like to use the main title typo because I think it's really, really great with the gradients. It looks dope. Spoiler, I didn't do a shit of what was in this list. I did like 3 of them, and I had a dozen on my list, and I only ticked like 3 of them. I'm not very proud of this one. Next, I wanted to recreate it because Savages is the most powerful, beautiful song ever written and ever sung, and I love it so much. So I really wanted to recreate this scene. It didn't work all that well, but I tried, and it gives off the right vibe, so that's important. But it's really hard to recreate that with water paint. So I appreciate that. So all of the boxes on the left were purple and pink, and all of the boxes on the right had blue and red. The quote is "so many voices ringing in my ear, which is the voice that I was meant to hear." Once again, from where do I go from here? I think I used mostly those quotes. It's a lovely song. I don't really regret that. Maybe I should have used, Savage's quote from it, but out of context, Savage's is really racist and really, this is the point. But I didn't feel like having to explain that out of context. I love this lyric of a really fucking racist and bad song, but it doesn't matter because Savages is the best song ever, and I love its energy and its passion and its anger. There is so much going on there. You can feel their emotions. They believe in what they're saying. It's wrong, of course, but they believe in it, and they're decided to make everything works for them because they're right. They're the one that is right. Which of course is not true, but you explain that to a crowd. Crowds never listen to anyone. I'm sorry, by the way, that you sing my head all that much. I'm still struggling to find a ways to just film the thing and not show myself, because when I paint and like for 6 or 7 hours, what I do with those books, with those months, I usually have my nose on it and my tongue out because I'm so focused. Very romantic and pretty scene that I wanted to do there. I didn't nail the color or the right. I really wanted to use watercolors for it. Now that I finally had something that was not felt tips, But I was still very new to watercolor, and I was still struggling a lot with it. So I'm not exactly proud of it. By the way, this is my 1 line a day page. So it's an exercise one. So I forced myself to write one sentence a day. I've stopped doing this for about a year now, but at that point it was very important and was a good exercise. I'm not doing this anymore because I started writing for real, and I just didn't have the time for that, and it wasn't very productive enough, at least, so I stopped. Okay, so I don't know what this image is going there. It's from the next page. I don't know it. I've been doing this edition 2 years ago. I don't even remember what's going on then. But anyway, next page. No, it's a very crusty one. And I definitely managed to use a Savage quote there. And I painted mainly everything in red. So it even covers the quote, but it's okay. Once again, I struggle to draw Pocahontas, and she looks like shit, but I like the eagle. I focus on the eagle. I really shouldn't be allowed to draw people. It's a nightmare. So the quote is, "Eagle help my feet to fly, and mountain help my heart be great." The energy of that song is just so magical. I love it so much. Like, this is something that in my fic I could never do as well as the movie, because I can't have a song and I can have the imagery of it, so I can have the energy that goes in the movies, but My story is good, but it will never be as good as the movie. It has something that written things can never have. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy now. Anyway, it's all mostly the crustiest page yet, and it's the one that was struggling to just pass all the time because it was so dry. Next one was my last page, if I remember. Yeah, it's my last page, and was very light on paint, which was a good thing. It was very light in drawings. Oh yeah, I had the to right page. I didn't remember how. I didn't like the twisty thing on the right. It was shit. The quote was, "The path ahead, so hard to see, it winds and bends, and where it ends depends on only me." So here it is, and since I know that the quality is pretty shit, I left as I took some pictures and put them in the end of the video so you can see it without having to cringe at the quality all that much. So here they are. Anyway, I hope you like it. I'm really sorry for the delay, and I really promise to do better now.